long time ago. You never know about bids. You don't hear from somebody for a long time, and then all of a sudden they call and say, okay, we're ready, and you didn't even know they were thinking about it anymore. Good morning. I have for a long time wanted to sell a kit on monkeybeaver.com, the store. I wanted to sell a new climber kit because people always ask, what do I need? What's a basic necessities for climbing a tree? So I'm putting a kit together. It's going to be on monkeybeaver.com. At the time of this video right now, it is not available yet, but I'm hoping by the time I upload this, we'll have a kit on there for you. You'll have a hard hat, not a fanner hat, something more affordable, and besides maybe even better, because these fanners, they're sleek looking, and it's nice the way they kind of fold up and don't stick out really far. But the hearing protection is not very good actually on these. Always kind of annoys me. The basic kit will have a climbing rope in a bag with a hitch climber system on it. That'd be cordage, hitch climber pulley, and carabiners. This is extra. This is not basic. That's for SRT. About the cheapest spurs I could find to make an affordable kit are these Climb Rights. And I like these because the angle of the spur is pretty steep, and they're lightweight, and I just don't like those newfangledy ones where they worry about gaffing out so much that they put the spur at such a shallow angle. I guess that the right word, so that it kind of exerts more force on the knee. They create more problems by their fear of gaffing out than they fix. And the 1.0 Monkey Beaver 1.0 harness with suspenders, because I think that's a basic necessity, because you need to carry the weight of your tools on not just your hips but with your shoulders. So have I got it all? Rope, spurs. Oh, you'll need a flip line. So flip line, harness and suspenders, spurs, rope, hard hat, ear protection, eye protection, and something to rappel on the rope with. And that's going to be your basic kit. I'm working by myself here today, so got to take a lot of care to preemptively place what I'll need. So I want my rope. I can't drop anything on my rope. That would be bad. So I'm putting it right here at the base of the tree, and I'll be careful not to drop anything on it. If I did, I could always SRT down and clear it, but who wants to do that? If you're DRT, doubled rope, then you can't come down if something's on your rope and it won't allow the moving rope to come up, then you can't come down. So, but I have ways. Using a battery saw because I'm real stealth today here. And I'm going to put a spare battery in this rope bag. Yeah, spare battery right here in the rope bag. It's going to be really important to not drop anything on the rope here, because I don't want to come down to clear it. You're a new climber. This is your first job. All you have to do is go up the leaning tree. Take it down in a safe, predictable manner with your brand new spurs. They're so stiff you can't hardly adjust them. This is much nicer gear than I had when I first started. Much nicer. I bought my gear from this little old man out of a newspaper ad. called, the newspaper was called the Nickel, because it was where you'd find cheap stuff. I bought the harness and the spurs for $75. They were a bit tattered. They don't like this big wound down here at the base, and the tree leans really hard. Boy, these spurs are way lighter than the old ones. As a matter of fact, it was $75 spurs. They're the ones I still use to this day. They're heavy, but I'm used to them. These feel really good. Super good. So this is Caitlin's kit. I'm training her up as a new climber. So I thought I would train you guys at the same time. Anybody who wants to learn some basics. What we have here is basic 1.0 climbing harness, monkey beaver, and suspenders, real basic spurs, a rope, and something to rappel with, aka hitch climber system, hard hat, face shield, don't really need hearing protection for this saw, but I got hearing protection too. What's cool about that is your hearing protection, you can stick your helmet communication inside your hearing protection. So then not only do you have hearing protection for large, loud sounds, but you also have the safety aspect of being able to communicate with your crew, your friends, give warnings, accept warnings. That little madrone is going to end up being collateral. Boy, spurs are so light. I'm just not used to that. I figure what I'll do is I'll skinny this up, take the branches off of it, take the top out, and then send a log down. Have some collateral damage, but not as much as if we dumped the whole tree all at once. Yeah, take it back. That is kind of loud. I went ahead and put on my hearing protection. One thing I like about the 1.0, the original monkey beaver harness, is it has very stiff padding in the back. So it doesn't come up as high, but it's still a very large back support area, and it's stiff and it just feels good in my lower back. That's important when you're 57. Okay, that one could swing and hit my rope. So this is you, new climber. Got your first bit of kit. It's an investment, but it's good to have good stuff. There's a lot of cheap stuff you can buy. I try to make this a basic kit for quality stuff. Because good gear is, I mean, look where we're going here. I mean, you'd feel it if you were new. Even if you're not, you'd be like, okay, let's be very deliberate. Let's not make any rash moves. And when you go to an uncomfortable place, you need to have as much comfort as you can there. You can't have some cheap stuff digging in on you and some pinching your nuts or whatever. Thank you. Get out of there. It's not on my rope. Thank you. When I was commercial fishing up in Alaska, that's where I'm from, born and raised. That's where I started to learn a lot about knots and stuff. And actually the first loggers I worked with were up there when I was 18 and started working with that type of crowd. Anyway, what I was going to say is the gear that you purchase to go commercial fishing is super important to get the good stuff. And new guys would often go and cheap out at the marine supply store and buy these black rubber boots, super basic. That would just chafe blisters in your heel. And they would get cheap rain gear that tore to pieces on the first barnacle it touched. And later they'd be cold, wet, uncomfortable, miserable, and on top of that, in an uncomfortable, scary place like this. Don't come up here with cheap stuff. If you don't have the money, save it, or have somebody buy it for you, somebody that loves you, maybe somebody that you're gonna work for. Take it out of your check. Cut that one, I let it swing under, and then when it came back I cut it off because I knew down there there'd be no rope to get hung up on. Do I feel guilt for selling expensive stuff to new climbers, people with less money? Nope, I don't, because I'm offering high quality stuff and there's no guilt to be had when you're doing that. I mean, sure, I started out with crap, but I also tore myself to pieces, and I have aches and pains that I wouldn't have right now if I had some back support in my... Look, I suffered, so you don't have to. You can pay me for gear, or you can pay your dang chiropractor or doctor or whoever has to fix up the only spine you got. Alright, I'll get you. I'll get you later. That little harness I bought from the little old man, it had a back support of a strip about this big, and I just used it forever. I don't know, 10 years. It was just in tatters, and finally this company I worked for took it. They're like, you can't use that anymore. They're like absconded with it. And then they said they'd buy me whatever I wanted, and they bought a weaver, which was the same thing. It's the closest thing to that I could find. One of those white and red ones. Uh-oh. I just got my saw stuck while I was swinging that under. And you should put a handsaw on your basic kit too. I don't have it included in the basic price, but you should include it. And that caused me to throw my chain. Let me show you how to fix that real quick. Now see, I'm just trying to be a noob here so that it's more real for you. If I don't throw my chain and stuff, it's not gonna be real enough for the noob. So I'll make myself comfortable here since I gotta do some, ooh, those spurs are in there good. I gotta do some mechanicking work. Now check this out. The Milwaukee has a bar wrench, right there. No one's down there for me, so I need to not drop this bar wrench. The scaredest I've been so far on this tree is worrying about dropping this bar wrench. It leans, it's rotten at the base. But dropping the bar wrench would be horrible. Plus, as you go, you cut off things that weigh more than you. So I'm not worried about this tree. Pretty handy, Milwaukee, to have your little bar wrench right there. I don't know if anyone else does that. That's pretty awesome. I've seen Echoed, they have like a little deal on the pull cord of their gas saws that helps you open the fuel and oil caps. That's a bit tight. I think I'm gonna go with it. And this goes in there, and no, this, yeah, then snaps in. Come on, you gotta admit that's pretty cool. I mean, this is a real world scenario. I threw my chain and I had nobody to go get me a scratch. That's gonna want to hang up. Probably good that I'm tied in above now. Can get in a better position for pulling on this. The thrill seeker me wants to send this top right now and go on a big springy ride, but it would go out there pretty far. I think it would cause a huge swath of mayhem. You know what I think I'll do? I think that felt so good being tied in for a second that I keep one of these on my belt. You should too. Not part of the basic kit, but I keep a throw ball and carabiner on my belt so that I can quickly throw my line. That would have been in my way. See, throw my line up in there. Right there, look good? Yes, it does. Now, if I can get it to drop down on this side of that limb, that would be really cool. Yep. You've heard of goat ropers? Well, I'm the goat of rope flipping. Or at least I'm telling myself that right now, after getting it on my first try. So some guys will, working alone, they will go up with their rope in a bag or in a backpack. Super smart. I like the special forces guys that have a rope bag tied to their leg. Those are cool. We've talked about doing it, making them at Monkey Beaver, but it's so specialized, you know, that I don't know if it would be a big thing. It's very popular. Just keep going higher. I wanna take you higher. Don't do electric gun. Ooh, Caitlin's brand new rope is working good. All of my stuff is all pitched up and sticky. So, look at this. That limb, if I cut it straight, it'll just sag down and hang up. But if I come here and I take this wood out of here, well, that's the wood that'll free it up to swing like that into this hole. So I won't cut like this, where this would be comfortable, but it would literally take the limb that way into that fir tree. Watch this. So I got it as far as I could. Time to get bullyish with it. At least it's not over there. It's over here. And get it to come out of there. Maybe get this one out of the way first. I'm holding my rope back out of the way because that one was going to be hunting it. So far so good, eh? Hey, you. You can't be doing that to me. I'm running this Milwaukee with an 8.0. The other day I put a 5 in it and it got me through the limbs, but it didn't get me anywhere further than that. I think 8 is probably the minimum. Milwaukee, they don't skimp on power, so some of the others, they trickle the power to you at first. So if there's any resistance on the chain at all, the chain won't turn. And so because Milwaukee brags about giving you all the power right away, let's see, where do I want this? Oh, I have fallen from goat status. I have achieved it again. Anyway, what was I talking about? Milwaukee. Oh, they give you all the power right away as soon as you push the trigger, pull the trigger. And because of that, they dump through batteries pretty good. But again, back to when you go to uncomfortable places, you want to be kitted up pretty good. I'm not saying batteries are the dream come true for that. What I'm saying is if you do have a battery, it's nice if you have the most powerful thing you can get your hands on, which I think these guys do a good job with dumping the power all to you right away. It's almost like they understand Americans because I drove an old muscle car to get here and I spent a lot of money in fuel, but it's worth it to me because of the muscle part. I didn't go fast or anything. I mean, I could have, I guess. I was in like a Sunday drive kind of mood. I still am. I'm in a, Billy Ray would say, I am not in a hurry, I am at peace. Ooh, I knocked a hanger loose. Sweet. Created another one, but at least I got one. The saga continues of the climber's first climb in his brand new shiny gear. It was like really real when I got here today. They didn't recognize me. The bid was kind of a long ways ago. And I was all, oh no, it was me. It's that tree right over there, and I told you this. But she looked at me with that old familiar skepticism that I used to see every time when I was young, and I tried to get people to trust me to do their tree stuff. Even after I was qualified, it was hard to get people to believe that I had enough experience, I had a baby face. And they'd say, this is how you knew they were thinking about not calling you. They'd say, how many years did you say you've been doing this? So today when I rolled up and I'm clean shaven and driving that kind of Joe Dirt car and all of my gear is brand new and shiny. She's all, so I don't remember you. And she said, how exactly are you going to cut this tree down? And it was just funny because here I am pretending to be new for the new climber kit thing. And here they are treating me that way. Just like they used to. Stay off my rope. I don't think I've got any on my rope, although it's acting a little suspicious. I just cleared a pretty big nest. Pretty big bird's nest. You know, it's all about saving the forest here. And a top this big would mash through a bunch of stuff. So I guess I'll be gentle and go higher. If I ever retire, I'm just gonna do jobs like this, where I show up with a little kit and make a little bit of money and move on, go home. Not have like all the overhead of running a business. Bucket trucks and cranes and chippers and maintenance and loads of labor. Big scary project. I knew that one was going to bounce off my foot, but I was like, yeah, it won't hurt much. They're probably down there going, he said he was gonna climb it so that all the mess was in one spot. And he ain't kidding. When people watch stuff like this and they don't know the business, they think you're being kind of crazy when you go high. I think you're being reckless, but what they don't know is that when you climb higher, you make things more manageable. You make things less dynamic, because small things do a lot less damage to things than big things do when they go wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't. But it's a scenario you see with new climbers or new tree people, whatever. It's probably in other occupations too. But they're scared, and so they won't go any higher, and they'll cut some humongous thing, not knowing the ramifications of what they're about to do. Well, now we're really gonna start dipping into the battery of this Milwaukee. Cutting wood. I'm gonna be impressed if I can do this, because this is a bushy, tall tree. If I can do this whole thing and chunk it out down to the stick height that I need, which is, I don't know, probably as far as the battery will let me go will be as far as I go. Unless it's not far enough and I have to pull up that other battery. But if I can get through most of this tree with 1.8.0, I'm gonna be pretty impressed, okay? Thank you for landing flat and then braking. Oh yeah, it's safe up there. broke like a number 2 pencil, which is pretty good. You don't want them breaking like one of those dry breadsticks, one of those biscotti biscuits you have with coffee. You don't want them breaking like that. You don't go to those types of places. Another one, old David Driver, he coined the phrase Butterfinger. You know how Butterfinger bar it breaks? A really good analogy for some of the crappy wood I've seen on stems. So dialed, broke in half on a flat landing. Wow, that's pretty good. I mean, I was trying to get that beside this fir, which I have not mangled very much. It was mangled by having this tree growing over it forever, and I didn't want to mash that little oak. It was such a good shot. Hey man, you gotta celebrate your victories. It's okay. You can't just always be talking about your losses. Oh, and you can't always be only talking about your victories too. That's why I'm going to show you that my chain came off. He's like a real regular tree climber. Yeah. Depressingly regular is true. You gotta be careful with these new climber guy. You don't want your saw to get stuck in the cut as it goes over, which can happen when you're kind of new. So you'll see me cut all the way up to the kerf sometimes. You know, like I'll cut the hinge off all the way sometimes as it's tipping, just so I can calculate the rotation. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you cut into the part that's leaving and it leaves, it'll take your saw. But none of this stuff would hold up. The saw would break. This lanyard would probably hold. So as I get up into here, I might get close, but I'll be light on my feet here. I'll be pulling this out of there. Dialed! Oh my goodness, on fire! Absolutely on fire, and nobody here to witness it. Except you. There's a lot of years where I did when I was working alone, and I would log some just epic result. And we're talking about years after I mean, I had been a party animal and a drunk for a long time, so I didn't know how to like maintain, like I couldn't really be happy with any kind, without some kind of attitude adjustment. It's like I always was waiting for the next celebration, next unwind, the next take the edge off. So because of that, I kind of had a hard time finding joy where joy was in the little things. And when I quit, when I started to get peace of mind, when I started to grow up, I started to catch little things as they were happening and say, oh wait, this is one of those things where I'm supposed to be happy about it, even though I'm not super high. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this. But I had to like try to. Anyway, and then I got better at it and better at it. And then I realized that being high is actually more of the cop-out. Being sober is, being in reality is more of a trip than being high. And so I started, if I did something really cool, I would talk to God about it. I would say, you saw that. You saw that. Now we're going to talk about that someday. And it, you know it was awesome. Yeah, my battery's gotta be, what's it at? It says 2.5. Well, I don't know. One bar now. Hopefully I can get through this last chunk. What do you think, audience? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get this last log out with the 8.0. Getting it flat. Well, that's probably hard to do because it's a big tall log and I'm closer to the ground. But I'm sniping it. I'll see if I can get it to hit that snipe and it'll throw like an extra. So we'll see. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, this is a cliffhanging. This is a thrill-seeking video. Woohoo. I hit the oak. Let me confess about that. I hit it because I knew I needed to adjust this notch more, but I knew I'd run out of battery. So I went with it. What's cool is it's right there with the others, and I see no scuff on that tree because of the way it kind of glanced. So that's cool. Milwaukee did it. I'll follow the rest with the 2-handle. I have a couple of hangers to get, so I think what I'll do, old me would not even have known how to do this. Little alpine butterfly action, like so. Then I take this handy dandy thing, which does not come on the basic kit. but I recommend it. I would also caution you to not drop this tiny pin. Get that on there first. I don't want to tell you what to do or nothing, but I think it falls in the realm of solid advice. Now, the idea is that I can come down the single rope, see? And then when I get to the bottom, I can pull this and it'll cause that to loosen up and I'll be able to get the whole thing back, theoretically. But it would be wise of me to not leave anything like this. So I need you to hang in a little longer, 8.0. Check everything before you unhook your flip line. This knot I'm using here is called a Michoacan, I think it's called. It's a funny name. I got a hanger there, and a big hanger over there. That tree is so toast I could probably just drop the tree. There's a hanger down there too. Don't want to leave stuff like that for somebody out here walking in the woods to enjoy their property could get less enjoyment right through the top of the head. I don't know if I can reach that. I'll try. Start with this one. Come here, sapling. Come here. Pull out every trick in the book here. It's probably pretty impossible to see what I'm doing here, but I'm standing in the top of a tiny little, I can feel it like bowing, like it could break if I got you. That was easy. Okay. I was standing in that little crotch, and that worked. More stubs that I was lazy and didn't cut off on my way up. Pull it out. Oh, we got hornets. We got hornets. I gotta get the heck out of here. We got hornets. Well, I really like these climb rights. They were great. They were light and very pokey. You didn't see me gapping out either. That's the perfect angle right there. I think I might extend them up a little further for me. They're Caitlin's and she don't have the tall shin bone that I got. That's the first time they were used. I got them to equip her. She's gotta go to school though. Maybe when she gets off the bus, I can keep training her. But she really likes working with us. Some people forget to put oil in these battery saws because they don't stop to put fuel in them. But they work better with oil, turns out. This one here is pretty heavy, but it's got a lot of power. So I'll put up with the weight of it. And they'll probably get better at it. I saw some inside information on some Milwaukee stuff, future stuff. It looks pretty awesome. Oh, I wonder if this one has its own wrench on it. Oh, it does. Look at that. I can tighten my chain. It's pretty handy. Oh, and I don't have to tap out the air filter. And not a single person knows I'm here after all that cutting. Those Hornets know though. They'll be waiting for me over there. I don't know if I can put up with that. They're gonna be in a hole over there. They're swarming all over my GoPro. They're going in right at the base of the tree. Oh, I don't want to get stung. One thing good about gas powered saws is that they make exhaust, and the bees, it disorients them. They get disoriented by the carbon monoxide, and you can get away with a little more. You see me walking slow, it's because I think maybe they won't notice me, like Winnie the Pooh.
Isn't this a clever disguise?
I'm a little black rain cloud.
I'm a little black rain cloud, of course. Now, would you aim me at the bees?
Come on, guys, leave me alone. All right, let's see if my mastermind of work can get my rope back. Hornets are just going ballistic right there next to the tree. I just guess I gotta keep going until something. Just want to see if I can get away with it, you know? Alright, now I just gotta steal my camera back from the Hornets over there. Sweet shot. I just love that I came in here stealth. Crazy. Crazy the level of technology that batteries have come to even now, and imagine what they'll get to. We would have had a phone call here by now. Some neighbor would have called the Department of Forestry if we had saws running. They would have had to have come out. They're just doing their job, but they stop. You only can work till 1, and they slow you down. They inspect all your stuff and make sure your water tank works. Make sure none of your saws are modified. All kinds of little things, little micro. But I'm gonna get in and get out with no noise. Can't say it enough. It's cool. Well, that's it. That's the basic kit. What do you think? You can do a lot of. You can go to some places with a kit like that, can't you? Some places nobody else will go. Collect money that most people can't. You can collect money that you couldn't collect without the kit. Pay for itself easy. That job was $850. I asked her for the check. She said, "How much is it?" I said, $850. She went in, she wrote the check, and she came back out and she said, "Now you did say $825, right? Because I wrote $825. I'm all, okay, I said $850, but $825, that'll work. She's like, "Really? Because I could write you another check." And I was like, "Nah." Anyway, the point is, $825 is well on its way to paying for the kit. Do that a few times. I don't know how many times because we haven't calculated the price yet. But good quality stuff. Earn some good quality money. Enjoy yourself in the process. monkeybeaver.com